Hi everyone, welcome to Bunniichii Corner. I'm Magpie and I'm Jules. Ha!
You got me.
I did it.
Hi, Magpie.
Hi Jules.
How are
Totally.
you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, today I went to Joann's because last episode I said they were only shutting down a handful of Joann's. Plot twist, they're shutting down all the Joann's.
Oh, the
So I went
Joanne.
to go scalp them for some cute pink fabric,
As you should.
as I should. I am genuinely
Oh wait, I don't know if.
saddened.
Wait, I think Pip might be. Oh, Pip, you're gonna smell it? You can if you want. Okay.
The microphone.
She was smelling this microphone. Anyways, Joanne's. It's closing for
I'm
good.
genuinely sad for good. They're getting ripped apart
Hmm.
because they couldn't find a buyer. So the people they owed money to decided that they were worth more liquidated than they would be continuing to run the stores, which I agree with because Joann's hasn't been good for like 10 years.
Yeah, it's true.
They especially, I say 10 years, but they really went downhill after lockdown lifted from the pandemic because they kept running their stores as if it was the pandemic, but all these people who did a foray into these hobbies went back to work,
Yep.
went back to doing other stuff, and they just couldn't keep afloat, man.
It was just a ticking time bomb.
Yeah, I'm not surprised it happened. I'm sad it happened. I worked there,
Hmm.
like I like Joann's, but I got some fabric and I got some trim and I'm gonna make some cute stuff, hopefully, eventually, because that leads us to today's conversation about the fact that I am burnt the hell out.
That's our topic today. Burnout.
Yay.
Yay.
So I've been an artist all my life.
Hmm.
I've done digital art. I've done a lot of writing. I've done a lot of sewing. I've done a lot of crochet. I know burnout. I've been through
Yeah.
burnout, but something like, I don't know, man, at the end of last year, going into the start of this year, 2025, uh, it's like the switch of my love of cosplay just flipped off.
Hmm.
And like, I don't know if I just went too hard for too long because I was making like 6 to 8 costumes a year for 5 years.
Hmm.
Um, and going to a bunch of cons and running my Instagram like it was a job. But I am so burnt out from costuming and from social media.
Yeah.
Um, like I haven't made a single costume this year. It's February. It's the end of February. That's bizarre. I have
Yeah.
half a costume done, but like that's bizarre to me. And I don't know if
Hmm.
I'm not over the hobby. And I can feel that in my heart that I'm not over it, like for
Hmm.
good. I can feel
Yeah.
it deep in
Yeah.
my kokoro.
Deep in
But
it. Yeah.
like I don't know if it's just that I don't have anything to look forward to that's making me not want to craft things. Because
Mm.
originally, when I got into cosplay, there were no cons going on because I got into it 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
And so it was all just self motivated. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Maggie, teach me. How do I get through burnout with cosplay?
I guess I'm the master at this.
Let's go.
Because what? Julie, you for the entirety that you've known me, I've gone through burnout pretty consistently, at least once or twice a year for like
You hide
multiple
it really
things.
well.
I I have
You
mastered
hide
the
it
art
really
of
well.
hiding. I
I
hide the
think it's
burnout very
because you
well.
pivot. You pivot. And
Yeah.
you do another thing, and I'm like, oh, Maggie's doing this now. And you're like, anyway, I'm over here. I'm like, oh, welcome back.
The the greatest part about having multiple passions is that when you get burned out, you can go and pretend that you're not over at the other part of your hobby. And then when that one starts bringing no joy, you go to a different one. And then you just constantly evade it. And it's a super unhealthy way to deal with things instead of just stepping
You know,
away.
That's also how I procrastinate. I don't procrastinate by doing nothing. I
Yeah,
procrastinate by working on a project I'm not supposed to be working on.
yeah. This is the
Yeah,
correct way to do things. What do you mean? There's
you're
no
right.
issues at No, there's no issues here. That's why I have a
No,
podcast. That's why we have a podcast. It's like white people therapy.
it is
In
white
this
people
economy,
therapy.
you think I'm going to pay for therapy? Therapy? No.
Oh,
I'm going
oh,
to pay for audio editing software so I can edit our audio and think about
that's fair.
things
Think deeply.
very
Maggie, do you
deeply.
remember the first time you got burnt out with cosplay?
Mm, pre-Julie or after Julie?
Let's do. I was gonna say BJ.
I that's the thing is
Uh,
that's why I didn't say it brought down because I was just like
BJ.
BJ. So is it
Let's
BJ
do
or AJ?
both.
Okay, so BJ.
We swing both ways here.
I'd say BJ, it would be probably when I was in high school. End of high school is where I was getting first hit with burnout because I was starting to want to do more. Cosplay
Yeah.
wise, I didn't have the ability to do so yet.
hmm
But also, that's when people were starting to have a bit of a better concept of what the hobby was as a whole. It was
hmm
right after Heroes of Cosplay, so the normies were starting to at least
What a
get
mistake.
in. See, okay, real quick
Oh
aside,
boy.
real quick aside, I'm not going to apologize for Heroes of Cosplay, but it's
hmm
wonderful trash television.
I need to go back and watch it now that I am in the scene.
It's wonderful trash television, and honestly, Heroes of Cosplay is what actually inspired me to get better at cosplaying and actively get around to learning to sew and craft. Because seeing
hmm
the competitions and all the work that went into it, and create being able to tell stories in a very creative setting in an interesting type of hobby that I was passionate about really inspired me. So say what you
hmm
will, I understand it was not a great set, really bad, but what reality television show is? None of them. I enjoy it
That's fair.
anyways.
So you got burnout.
I got burnout and I there was just no joy for it for me. There was more frustration than anything.
hmm
And so I just didn't cosplay. I didn't cosplay for a bit. Um, and the what brought me back was a friend of mine at the time. He wanted to dress up as Sora from Kingdom Hearts, and I was like, "Yeah, sure. You know what? Let's figure out how to make it." Did was there any sewing involved? No. Was there duct tape being applied to people's clothing during San Japan in the hallways? Yes.
Classic
Was
San
this
Japan
cosplay recognizable by everyone in attendance? Also, yes, and I think that should say something about my ingenuity.
that we should all respect it.
We should to be able to put duct tape, different colored duct tape on pants and shirt and
Do you
sneakers.
remember the duct tape era just in crafts in general, like making
Yeah,
duct tape wallets? What was up with that?
Tumblr.
Tumblr was truly the TikTok of our time,
Yes. So yeah, it was
except it's still
same
better.
vein. So we did duct tape Sora,
I
and
see.
I just dressed up as a YouTuber before it was cool.
Ah, I remember you telling me that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, what about after having gotten to know me
AJ?
at AJ?
AJ, it would probably be, hmm. It's difficult to say exactly when would be the first instance of burnout.
I feel like I burned you out.
Yeah.
I 100% burned you out.
Yeah,
It's
it's
okay, you can
not
admit it.
a well, the thing was the way that you approached the hobby was different than how I approached the hobby. But
Then tell
also
me, Maggie, how do I approach the hobby?
like a job.
Yeah, I don't know how to have fun.
But on top of that, there was also the skill difference. You were treating it a job and you had the skill levels, you had the ability. Like, yeah, you were still learning a lot, right? But you were learning less than Maggie was. I still was
I was
baby.
drinking and sewing like a fucking fire hydrant.
I
I was
was.
my skill level went up so fast because I work because it
Mhm,
was either I was laid off from the
mhm.
pandemic or I was working from home.
Yeah. So you were
I could
already at
sew all the
home.
fucking time.
Yeah. And for me, I was um I wasn't laid off, but I was still in person for work and then
Hmm.
going home and then being like,
And
"Oh my
having to
gosh, what do I-"
decompress.
Since I was working in the
Yeah.
health field at the time. So there was a lot of
Yeah.
extra statistics with that. And then adding on, I'm just like, I this person that I met, she's I want her she's my best friend. I don't think she's said
She
she's
has high
that I'm her best
expectations.
friend yet, but I'm gonna meet her expectations.
I
I
need to
want to
earn that best friend title.
I need to earn the title and hold it and let her know that I won't let her down and I
And you
want to
know
be
what? You got
better.
that fucking Ichigo and aquarium.
That's right.
Nailed it.
That's what's up.
I will never, ever forget until the day I die the feeling of panic I felt when I was packing to go to San Japan and I texted you and you sent me a picture of you sewing in by hand the zipper to Ichigo's bodice and I was dying.
I don't think you'll ever
But
let me
it
live
got
it
done.
down. It got done.
No. It got
That's all that matters. It got
done.
done. It still works. I tried it on the other day. I don't know why I did that,
Just
honestly.
because.
I think I was just more of like a, huh, I don't know. It
Man, you know
still
what
held up.
costume of art, way off topic, but you know what costume of ours I still love and I think we need better photos of?
Which one?
Fucking Mermaid Melody. Let's go, bitches.
Let's go. Beach. Beach. Let's
Let's
go
go.
away. Stay every one day.
I mean, Google has told me that there are some pretty sandy areas around where Julie lives these days.
Ooh. And I do know that in June I'll be over by Julie for an
I know,
exclusive
it's
con.
I know, very exclusive. Like I'm gonna send you
Invite only.
picture of a lake near me. It's pretty beachy vibes for being in a mountain. Anyway, so I burned you out. When did I burn you
Julie burned
out?
me out. Let me see. The worst part is that I'm
And
just
how
like,
did you get
what is.
over it? You're like, which time?
Well, the rough part about saying, uh, identifying burnout AJ is that the first time it was burnout, it was truly because I wanted to make sure I was at your skill level and that
Hmm.
I didn't let you down. So I was pushing
Hmm.
myself way too far.
Hmm.
But
I am sorry I
because
made you feel like that for what it's worth, but I think it's worth it because now look at what you can do.
I I
Look,
think
you've gotten so
ultimately
far.
the thing is I think ultimately it was worth it, but also it taught me that I had to be open on saying, "Hey, don't be mad at me." Like be able to know when
I
there's a skill
remember I
set.
remember you pulling out at one point, but I don't remember the first time you said, I'm not gonna get this done, don't be mad. And I was like, Maggie, why would I be mad at you?
That was
You
legit my
communicated open
first
and
thing.
honest with me. I'm like, as long as you tell me, I'm good.
Hmm. It wasn't Tokyo Mew Mew.
No, it wasn't. Are you scrolling through your Instagram looking at our
Yeah, I
duo stuff?
am. That's right, I am. This is how I track my Julie time because like BJ. Well, no, technically AJ because I competed at the Crunchyroll Expo right after I
with
had met you
what's her face?
with Princess
Princess
Tutu.
Tutu.
I was burned out
Yeah.
after that because that was a
Really?
lot. That was a lot
Because
because
you did
just
it
like
so fast.
not because I did it so fast. It
Okay.
was similar to what Luluko
Mhm.
talked about prior because I
Mhm.
put so much time and effort into that. There with just this kind of not that acknowledgement, but wanting to know
Mhm.
what I could have done better to at
Mhm.
least had like a not even a judge's award, but like a judge's choice or like if someone had said,
Some
"Oh, I
kind of
like it." Some
acknowledgement.
acknowledgement, you know?
Yeah.
Um so for that it wasn't even really a oh, I remember the one that I pulled out for. It was the Snowy Mountain.
Yes, I do remember that. We were gonna wear that to Hall mat.
Yep. And that's when I had my back
You had your
issues.
back issue.
So
Yeah.
it was really like I wasn't working at the time, so limited to
Yeah,
no
you were
income
going
coming
through
in.
it. You couldn't sit to sew.
Nope. Homura is a miracle.
I don't know how Homer looks as good as it does.
Homura is a miracle, and I don't
I
think
don't know. I don't know. How how did you
I
get
don't
that looking so
know.
good?
I don't know. I'll have to I do have to refit her at some point because I really um if anyone ever wonders how they can best work on something to work around their disabilities or any medical conditions,
Hmm.
with me, I did mainly a lot of theater costuming tricks. So for the
Hmm.
blouse and the underskirt, I just created it as a dress, but I didn't have it
Hmm.
as fitted, which we did have to
Mm-mm.
fix quite a bit.
Hmm.
But
I
that's
was
what I
on
needed at the time. That's what I needed
underskirt
at the time.
patrol when we were doing
You
photos of
were.
Momo.
You
Oh,
were.
hi, Clover.
But at the time, that's what I needed to be able to
And I don't
exist.
judge you for that.
I
I'm not
judge me for
going
that.
to. I'll judge other people. I'm not gonna judge you.
Oh, nice. I'm better than others. Haha. Let's see. So after we had Tokyo Mew Mew, we had this
I
fantastic
think
departure.
snow
Ah, I know the
halation is
first
when
one.
we first. Oh,
I know what it
what was
is.
it? What was it?
It was near.
Oh God, yeah. No, I don't want to talk about Near.
It was
I don't want to
near
talk about Near.
Alice.
I don't want to. I don't want to.
Then I'll say
We'll talk.
Alice.
We
It
could
was
talk about
Akon.
Alice.
It was
Yeah,
Akon.
yeah. You need
Um,
to. You need to do a proper American McGee's Alice costume.
we all know the one that I want to do. It's just more of
Is
a
it? Wait, hold on. I have two options in my head for you. It's
mm,
either that Red Queen one with the red and black checker dress, or it's
mm,
the underwater mermaid one.
underwater mermaid one.
See, that's my first guess, but you would rock the second one so hard.
That's how you do it. I
Do
know
both.
my color. ¿Por qué no los dos?
¿Por qué no los estás?
¿Por qué no los dos? Yeah. So there was
So you
Akon,
got burned out at Akon.
but then also Sailor Jupiter.
That burned you out.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, I'm noticing a trend here.
Mm,
It's costumes you don't actually want to make.
correct.
Do you think that's what burns you out?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Um. Hmm. Sorry. Now I'm real quick going through Instagram.
What a mistake.
There's uh maybe there it's not just the fact that it's not necessarily that I wanted to work on them. It's if there's not enough of a
Mhm.
passion for the franchise or the characters, or
Yeah, because you've never played Nier
because
Automata, you don't like
mm,
Sailor Moon,
no,
you weren't passionate about Snow Halation. Not Snow Halation, Snowy Mountain.
Stone Mountain. Um, The Snowy Mountain I actually did want to do. It
You
was
just got
more,
hurt.
I just heard.
Hey, I still have a snowy mountain. I still live
You
in
still
snowy
got some.
mountains.
I still have all the Sweden stuff that I was gonna use anyway, so that might end up being in this economy
We can
cosplay that's made.
we can do a Christmas shoot out in the mountains.
We could have Christmas cards.
Oh.
Bunniichii Christmas cards.
We'll send them to Summer and Momo and no one else.
届けです
And
朝
Luluko.
は重く好きや
Okay,
な
we're gonna get banned.
Snowhalation.
That's the only Love Live song my husband knows. Because when we were at Hallmat, that was
That's
do you remember
everywhere.
that really tiny stage that they put the idols on that weren't good enough to get onto the main stage?
Yeah, the one that I was just like, ooh, maybe I should sign up to do that. And then I was like, that's a bad
Yeah,
idea, actually. That's
yeah.
all anyone
Every
did.
single group did
Everyone did
snow halation.
Snowhalation.
Everyone.
only,
And
only
so like
Snowhalation. I
we're
think I was gonna
we're
do
coming
like,
home.
I think if I was, what was it? If I had signed up, I was gonna do Bittersweet Darling by Smoothie, since we
Good
had the
choice.
Tokyo Mew Mew, maybe
Yeah.
Mew.
But like as we were coming home after that con, Michael was humming it, and I was like, "Oh no, this poor man." Um, fun five question marks con would not go back.
Absolutely not.
So you have been burnt out from cosplay specifically a handful of times since we've met.
Mm. Mhm.
How do you make yourself get back into it?
I have to find something that I'm truly passionate about, where
Okay.
it's because since we make our own cosplays, we know the work that goes into it.
We do?
We do. Not
Since
everyone
when?
does. Since at least yesterday.
Oh shit, you're right.
For me, since I have this really a bit of a different experience from other cosplayers, where I also like to um, recreate stage outfits from both musicals and also like idol performances. Having those as inspiration and trying to get back into just the art of creating again has helped at times.
Hmm.
But it really has to be a project that I'm truly passionate about. If there's no
Hmm.
passion there, then I'm not going to force myself to do it. And if I start feeling like I want to create something, it's much better for me mentally to just work on something totally different where I'm still creating. I'm still bringing something from my head, plucking it out of my brain, and then putting it into the world.
Hmm.
Um, I think the most recent time that I was burned out, it was probably, yeah, with the Sailor Jupiter. But what I did instead, since we were actively working on cosplays for Saint Japan, is that I just pivoted and started to focus and specialize on wigs. I'd started
Hmm.
getting more heavily into wig styling when I had my back injury because I didn't have to worry too much about hunching over and could
Hmm.
band angle a way to sit and work on stuff without increasing pain on my
Hmm.
person. So that's when I started getting more heavily into wig styling. And so that's still adding to my skill set as a crafter and a cosplayer, but I'm not actively sewing. I'm not forcing myself to sew when I know ultimately it would have a bad end result. And so I didn't
Hmm.
feel like I was wasting any resources or time. I was instead learning a new skill set. And now look at your Sailor Moon wig. Your ponytails are so smooth.
They're wonderful.
They are.
No notes. No
No
notes.
notes. My
Um,
Lucia wig, fantastic. Do we have any good
yeah, it
photos?
is.
We got two good photos, but it looks
Go,
great. It looks great.
go.
Cool.
Um, I think what caused the burnout this time around was I was so excited to do the Saki Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, gonna crank it out. I was gonna do the thing. And then two things happened. One, con got canceled. Actually, three things happened. Two, um, not everyone was showing up to sewing nights, and that made me sad.
Yeah.
Because, like, what's the point of making a costume with a group if you're not going to work on it and chat at the same time? I'm
Yeah.
not doing this just for an end product. I'm doing this to hang out with people. And like, in this therapy session, I'm realizing a lot of why I want to make things and work on things is because it gives me a way and a reason to talk to and hang out with people. I love
Hmm.
our Thursday night sewing escapades. But back on topic, I also got really sick. I got sick three
Yeah.
times in a row and I was dying and it was horrible and I couldn't
Hmm.
do anything because I was so sick. Don't get sick. Pro tip.
Duly
But
noted.
now I'm but now I'm struggling to like make myself pick up that project again.
Yeah.
And if I start on a different costume, I'm not going to come back to it.
Hmm.
I can make streetwear, which is different because streetwear is you make one garment and it's done. You don't have to make seven different things.
Right.
But because I have my Isobel costume that I'm making from BG3, if I start working on that, I'm not coming back to bunnies. And I really, really want to make bunnies. So, Maggie, what do I do? How do I make bunnies?
Well, that's the hardest part about burnout. Burnout for everyone is so specific. And I'll even bring my music making into this. And
Yeah, you've had
idols.
some music and idol burnout.
Yeah, because as someone who I would like to think I'm at least somewhat talented with some things and likes to
I'd
spread
agree.
themselves way too thin and put
Yes.
everything out there.
Uh-huh.
And that then leads to further burnout. But I do that because it brings me joy. And my one goal in life is to bring things from my noggin and to the world. And doesn't matter if it lands, if it connects with someone, it connects with someone. That's what I want my
Okay.
art to do. I just because of a lack of any response beyond just the core very close friends from the first song that I came out with, I was kind of pissed. I was just like, what's the point?
Okay.
It
Because I
not
was wondering what
pissed.
caused your idol and music burnout. No, I get it. Like, you spend so much time and effort and money and heart and soul making a thing, and you put it out there, crickets.
It and it's not even pissed is
Yeah.
the deal. It was more of a there was no connection. There was no connection from the people who did listen to it. People who might have listened because they knew me, they might not have necessarily understood the message, which then
Mm-hmm.
to me says that I didn't do a good job
Mm-hmm.
and wasting hours of my free time and hours of other people's time to have a shitty end result where no one cared and there was no impact just really hit me because it was one of these things where it's like people believed in me and it felt like no one I didn't earn that trust. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't show them that their belief and their time was put to good use.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no meaning to the song, if no one it doesn't necessarily have to change you.
Mm-hmm.
But if it maybe gave someone's just like it maybe even one person had been like, wow, that was a really good song, I liked it. Instead of a bunch of people DMing me and being like, oh, you didn't really make it. You just used AI.
Yeah, I remember you telling me
Or
about that. Wait,
people being
hang on,
like, can
Maggie.
I
I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm gonna be this person. Generative AI.
generative AI. You're right. So sorry.
I am a software
Generative.
engineer and I respect the fact that this
It's
isn't fucking
generative.
AI. Thank
If
you. Please
people
continue
like
your rant.
if we had if there had been more the amount of people that had messaged me saying, "Oh, you probably use generative AI," or
Thank
asking
you.
do if they could perform it before I had ever even gotten a chance to perform it, or the being like, "Why aren't you doing a music video? Why didn't you
Hmm.
do dance challenges or anything like that?" Which then meant you didn't either A, didn't listen to the song, or which is why I'll genuinely never do a music video for Brain Melt. It would go against the message of the song. If half of those messages had at least been like, "Hey, I at least dug the tune,"
Hmm.
maybe I wouldn't have been so hesitant to try and make something else follow like afterward. There
Hmm.
was just so much of it, and even when and I was still trying to actively perform at the circuits, like at any of the conventions. I wasn't even applying with my own song, just
Hmm.
general. And the constant no's just got to me. It was like, well,
Hmm.
I'm not the greatest singer. I know that. I'm not delusional enough to think that I am.
Hmm.
I think I have good stage presence. I like to make sure people are
You're
entertained.
very fun to watch on stage.
And I play to those strengths, but that's also a hard sell. I'm not going to be
Yeah.
delusional enough to say that I'd be better than a few others, you know? But also, the only way you can get better is by continuing to put yourself out there and working on that. You can't do that at home when there is no
Hmm.
audience. So, constantly getting told no on top of already not being quite fulfilled at my job, my 9 to 5, just really hit where it's just like, there's no point.
Hmm.
Even the idols that I watched and listened to, where where did they have that part of their journey? They didn't. That's the difference between being signed to an entertainment agency versus doing stuff by yourself. If you're
Hmm.
signed, you'll always have at least maybe someone will come in with a song that they've written and been like, "Hey, let's workshop this." Or your manager will be like, "Hey, here's a whole slew of songs. Let's see if maybe one will hit." If you're
Hmm.
doing it yourself, it all has to come from you, or you have to pay someone to write something for you. And I feel it's disingenuous as an artist to not bring something to the world that's not mine. Work with people and collaborate on an art piece, yes. Collaborate with other musicians, yes. But if I'm not bringing together some type of song or composition that I feel connected to, that's disingenuous for me.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not the typical pop anime over the top look. So that's
Right.
also not not it for me. I'm already
Right.
at the disadvantage from a marketing standpoint, from an audience standpoint. I've never marketed my and I also shot myself in the foot when I first started by marketing myself as the Love Live type.
Yeah.
But then I didn't like being shoeboxed and I tried to get out of the shoebox. And the
Yeah.
shoebox, once I bust out of it, led to a void with no ground to stand on. And so I went into the
So what are
pit.
you doing?
So what am I doing now? I went into a fugue state and I passion wrote a very fun J-pop song. um at this point I'm out of the burnout state because I found a way to connect to the music where it's not as it's still based off of what others see. I still want to perform for people as a whole, but I found a deeper connection and appreciation for idol music. And I
Hmm.
think talking and interviewing some of the other Kai Guy idols really helped bring back that passion. Like talking to MS Paint Palette was such a great opportunity because getting to talk to her, we commiserated and shared experiences, and it helped me know that it's not me as a failure.
Hmm.
It's just that everyone has different tastes, which I already knew that, you know? But as a creative, those types of things can sometimes
Having
hit.
it reiterated is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's knowing that you're not a failure. It's just not everything, and even going in and being like, yeah, this isn't for everyone, but someone else who has also released their own music and being like, yeah, no, like not everyone gets it either. It's just like, okay, cool. I'm glad that it's not just me.
Yeah.
And so then I slowly started listening to like a little bit of Love Live, a bit of anime openings, a little Annie song every once in a while. And I just, like last week even, it just all came in a rush. It was like a dam broke, and then all the idols just, it all came back. And it was like, ah, the inspiration. It's back. And so in a fugue state, I wrote a full song. I composed it. I wrote lyrics, and now it's just about recording things. And I hope something lands this time. Will I still do stuff regardless? Yeah, but it's also
Hey, you can make dance
my.
covers with this one.
Now I can do my own choreography.
No, I'm
Different.
saying dance reels.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do what the kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Summer to be a plant, have them do your little dance
Uh,
reel,
uh,
it'll take
uh.
off, and there we go.
Bum 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 bum
So
bum
your
bum.
advice is
Woohoo!
to not be afraid of burnout and let
Embrace
yourself
it.
work through it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I think trying to force yourself through it isn't giving your body and your spirit the right amount of time to commiserate and understand like where you're at.
Hmm.
A huge part of burnout is really about passion. If your passion and the light, the flame for that is gone, you can't you can't burn a burnt
Yeah.
candle. If
Yeah.
there's no wick to light, where's that fire?
I think once again through this therapy session, I'm
Yeah,
realizing a
yeah,
good
yeah.
portion of my burnout really is coming from I don't have events with friends coming up that would make me make a
Yeah.
costume. Because, like, I do this so I can put on a silly outfit and hang out with my friends and have a
Hmm.
nice time. Not even inherently at a con,
Yeah.
but like, let's go to the reservoir and take cute beach photos. Let's go to the mountains
Hmm.
and hang out and be goobers. Like,
Yeah.
let's sit on the phone and talk for 2 hours and sew ruffles. Like, and I think it's the social aspect and the lack of it that
Hmm.
is causing issues.
Because I know for me, with cosplay specifically, the only thing that was really getting me excited was the fact that I was going to get to cosplay with you again for the
Yeah.
bunnies. And
Are
I
you also
came,
burned out on that project right now?
yeah.
Okay. You haven't said it.
Oh, I have been. I I don't I think it's such a fun project, and I want to give it the time and passion it deserves, but I don't. To me, it truly is a competition piece where I have a very specific dream for a little skit that we can do.
Yeah.
I've turned it to the two of us, and it's even better. I need this to
Yeah.
be known. It's a very cute skit idea, and I want us to do this. But I think that when you don't have that passion that end result becomes tarnished due to
Okay, I
that
have a
lack
new
of
plan.
passion. Yeah.
Um, we're going to compete at
Mm, mm,
NDK.
mm-hmm.
And we are going to put bunnies out of our mind until after New Orleans.
I
We are
like
allowed
it.
to work on it after New Orleans.
Okay.
Okay. After New
Heard
Orleans, we
chef.
got to start.
Heard chef.
Head chef. Um, yeah, no, it's rough. And I also think the fact that I'm not doing Instagram anymore has
Mm,
affected me, both in good and bad ways. Good in the fact that I don't feel the need to crank out 8 costumes a year because that's too many costumes for
mm-hmm.
1 year. That's not healthy. That's
No.
not good.
No.
That's not good. But Instagram has a way of making you feel artificially connected to a larger community when you're not
Mm-hmm.
actually connected to a larger community. And if I'm doing all of the sewing stuff for community, then I want to be able to take pictures and post and have someone say, "Oh, this is looking great." Like I want
Yeah.
that interaction. I want not like validation, but just to scream
You
into
want,
the void and have the
yeah.
void reach back out and say, "Hey, I'm also working on something. Do you want to talk about it?" I'm like, "Yes, I would love to talk about it." Um, but I
We're
feel
human.
like, yeah,
We
we're social
desire
creatures.
we desire that connection. And when people are interested about your passions, you're like, "Oh, you we could talk. Hey,
We friends.
we're friends
Hello.
now. Hi."
But I always feel like, because I know we have a sewing server on Discord, I always feel like if I post like a work in progress there, that
Mm,
it feels more like asking for attention.
yeah.
Because it's more like pushing it towards you, like, hey guys, you're socially obligated to comment on this. There's only
Yeah.
3 of us in the server.
Hmm. Yeah, there's that's the same issue that I have. I also have realized that just the way that I work on stuff doesn't align with sharing pictures.
It does not.
I just work on things and I'm like, yeah, 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 cool. Hey, Julie, I finished it.
Cool, cool, cool. Absolutely unhinged.
And that's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
I think ultimately burnout is a big part of any creative's journey.
Hmm.
Everyone has to go through it, and they will go through it. And you have to experience it in its full extent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not, you're not
I
giving
think
yourself that
though,
time to rest. It's also a full cycle almost of grief, I
yeah.
feel. Anytime I've been in burnout, I've experienced the 5 stages of grief, where it's like the frustration, sadness,
Bargaining.
denial,
I'm not in burnout.
keeps working on something. I'm not in burnout. I hate what I just made. It looks like trash. Hi, creamy
Yeah.
mommy.
You need to redo that one. I think as well in retrospect, in thinking on it,
Mm,
um, a lot of cosplayers that I looked up to have either burnt out completely and aren't in the hobby anymore,
hmm.
or have burned out for like a solid year or two.
Yeah.
And it feels kind of frustrating because it also kind of feels like if you burn out for a year, you're just so fucking behind the times.
Hmm.
Like if you're doing social media and you burn out for a year, you've lost all momentum.
Yeah.
And there's no coming back from that. But, and see, I think that's the thing. I think I'm still decoupling myself from finding value in what I do from social media.
Yeah.
I think I'm still decoupling that. Because fun fact, the longer you are not on Instagram, the more messages they push you. Because I'm
Mm.
now getting alerts that like person X commented on person Y's thing, and I'm like,
Oh.
I don't care. Why
Yeah.
am I getting alerted that someone posted on someone else's content? That's
Mm.
stupid. But like, I know if I go post now, there's not going to be any traction. There's going to be
Yeah.
nothing. And it's going to make me sad and it's going to burn me out harder. And it's going to reignite that unhealthy relationship that I admittedly had with numbers and artistry.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but no, it's rough. It's rough out there, man. Because I know, like, and at what point is something burnout versus moving on? Because,
I
like,
think,
did Deja Vu D burn out or did Deja Vu D move on? I think about her a lot.
yeah. I I would like to think that Deja Vu D did something similar to what Mango Cyrene or Faunina
hmm
did,
hmm
where it was accepting how big an impact the community and hobby had on their lives
hmm
and realized that it wasn't pivotal for their existence anymore and that
hmm
they would rather spend that time doing something else instead of pushing themselves to do it. And if
They
maybe
Marie Kondoed it.
they Marie Kondoed it, yeah. And just being at peace with that. For me, because I've thought about that as well. I was just like, am I over cosplay? Am I
Yeah.
done? And the sadness that I feel when I have this idea of never cosplaying again, it's
Tells you
not
you're not
this,
done.
yeah, it feels like it would be something that's ripped away from me when I'm not
Yeah.
ready. And
Yeah.
that's how I know I'm not done. I I solidly still enjoy the hobby. I don't think I'll ever truly be back to where when we were both on Instagram and solidly doing a
2020.
yeah. I
2021.
I don't think I'll ever be at that point again because that's unhealthy for me. I'll never
Yeah.
be able to fully pursue my other passions and interests like filming and music because I'd have to focus my energy on I'd have to figure out where my energy would go. And if I want to work
In
on
a lot of
everything at
ways.
once,
hmm
like one is going to be way more trash, you know? And
hmm
anything that I put out to the world, I want it to be a quality product. I want it to be a quality end result
Right. In a
that
lot
I'm
of
proud of.
ways, the way people talk about cosplay, especially
Hmm.
if you're learning about it from Instagram, is it
Hmm.
is an all-encompassing hobby.
Hmm.
Like, like what you do is cosplay, you know?
Yeah.
And like, much like you, I have a bunch of other hobbies. I like to write.
Hmm.
I like to sew streetwear. I
Yep.
like to crochet. There's stuff I like to do, and I have only finished like two crochet pieces in 5 years
Yeah.
because I spent, I told one of our friends this one time that I spent
Hmm.
like 3 hours a day every day of the week except on Saturdays where it was closer to 5 hours a day sewing cosplay.
Yeah.
That is a side job,
When
you
I
know?
believe that the most healthy relationship with cosplay is when you're able to not, it's not your side job.
Yeah.
It is not your free side job. Because we as humans need to differentiate ourselves. We need to branch out and continue to grow as individuals creatively as well. You
hmm
can't, it is impossible to have just one single hobby.
Yeah.
Yes, cosplay has different facets of it, but it's still just the
hmm
one hobby unless you're actively putting those skills into something else. Like if I got really good at wig styling or whatever, and I was just like,
hmm
you know what? I'm going to try and get into theater and use this as a tool to help out at the local
hmm
theater program or whatever. That's different. That is inherently different than being like, this is wig styling solely for cosplay.
hmm
You're not forcing yourself to grow as an individual or to expand beyond that one small interest.
Hmm.
And that's where you as a human stop growing.
Hmm.
You and I, we know we have other passions and we're just as passionate about those interests. But there are also passions that require a lot of time to make sure that
Yeah.
they have good end results.
Yeah.
And so, from a social media aspect, if we take the time towards those where it takes a longer amount of time to have an end result in comparison to cosplay, it can make the viewer or parasites make it seem like you're giving up and you don't care about cosplay anymore when in fact you're just a human. Cosplayers are human and they need to
Whoa.
expand. They need to go
Yeah.
beyond what small region of the internet and facet that their life is in at any one point and continue to grow.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think as well, what really bummed me out about Sakizu bunnies is,
Mm,
and I hadn't told anyone this because I don't like to tell people about projects until they're like halfway to most of the way done
yeah.
in case it doesn't happen.
Hmm.
But I was really excited for this because this was going to be my foray back into YouTube. I was going to film
Oh,
myself doing the sewing process and be like, did you ever watch Claire Saffitz on her gourmet make show where
yeah.
she would go through the process of like, here's all of my mistakes making this thing, and the and she did the
Mm.
wrap up of, so if you want to make a Kit Kat at home, and she gives you like the step-by-step actual instructions. That was going to be my format. It was going to
Oh,
be,
that would have
here's
been
all of
fun.
the, yeah, what a shame. It was going to be, here's all the R&D, all the
Hmm.
research and design to make this happen. And then like the last 10 minutes is going to be, so if you want to make a Saki Zoo costume,
Hmm.
here are the steps to do it in a
Yeah.
chronological order. And I was filming it. I was filming all of it and I was really excited
Mm.
for this, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Um
Because I think,
I don't, so that's just another disappointment.
yeah,
So I think the burnout happened from disappointment. I think I just got sad and sick and more sad.
sick and sad is never a good combo.
No, it's not.
But
Because
I
like,
truly, but burnout as a whole, I don't know if there's any academic base to this, but I truly believe that a majority of burnout does come to the passion ceasing to be there and just this inevitable, this unbearable amount of sadness overshadowing
so
that excitement.
depression.
Yeah. But
Because like,
however, I am not a diagnostician, so I cannot say it's depression.
well, I have clinical depression, so I can say it. But
Nice.
I remember how excited I was, and I'm sure you remember how excited I was for
Mm,
making Anne Halford.
yeah.
Like I was fucking pumped for that costume, and like,
It was so
I know you and I
exciting to
toyed about
me.
it
Yeah.
being a duo costume, but it
Hmm.
it really was a costume for me.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna make this no matter what. I really loved
Hmm.
Anne. And like I just want that passion back. I want that feeling again. I was so excited for that costume.
Yeah, the when you were making that, I remember anytime you'd send me like an update on Discord, I was so excited because you were excited and you could
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah.
And when we were really getting into like the designing phase of bunnies, I s- when I get messaging, that means I'm excited again.
Oh, absolutely. That was
And
the fun part.
so there was a point where we were talking about like the bodice and the corsetry, right? And I was just like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, what if we did this and this and this?" And it's just like, "Oh, that's the dopamine. That's it. The passion's back." And I was so excited. I put down money on Velvet, and I was like, "Oh man, I guess I am excited about this, man."
Maggie, I bought silk velvet
Oh,
for my
oh,
bolero.
oh, Julie, no.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Because
Anyway, so we
it's
genuinely
going to
do
be,
have
it is
to.
going to be,
We
it
are
is going to
doing
be a
this.
competition piece.
We
Yeah.
are doing this.
Yeah,
But
we are.
the main issue is that once it's almost like being a child who's been let down for the first time.
Yes. That is a really, really good way to put it.
It, and not just in a small way.
It's like
It
being told you're going to go
is
to Disneyland and then you get strep throat and can't go.
it's like being 5 or 6 and being told that Santa's coming,
Yeah.
and then, or you know what? I'll even dig into my own sad past. It's
Oh
being
man, I
able
was about to
to,
share a sad story.
for
Do it,
me,
Maggie.
it would be 7, 8 years old, having a birthday party for the first, not first birthday party, but a birthday party where I'm excited and it was going to be fairy themed. And this
Aw.
is the first time that I had been able to hand out invitations to people in a
Oh
school, in
no.
class, and
Oh
no one came.
no.
And no one
Oh,
came.
I would cry. As an adult, I would cry.
It was rough because like, I had made a cake with my mom. We
Yeah.
had gone to the different, like, garden centers and picked up little miniatures because we were going to do fairy gardens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the day of, no one showed.
I would have cried.
And I did.
Good.
But
Feel your
then,
feelings.
but also being told that, no, 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 don't be sad. We can make this work. But that's not how that
That's not what you
works.
wanted.
No. And then also getting a call from some of the parents saying that I'm leading their kids down a bad path because apparently fairies are demonic and I'm going to hell. That's a great way to start your birthday. Maybe that was the beginning of the end for Maggie enjoying birthdays as a whole. Definitely was. But
Mm.
that is the type of feeling that I get during burnout.
Yeah.
That immediate hit when there's that disappointment, it makes you not want to try anymore. And you can't force
Yeah.
yourself to try. You can't force a 6-year-old kid to make a fairy garden alone on their birthday.
That is accurate. You can't do it.
Nope.
Nope. Well, no, I think that's a really good way to look at it. I have some hope now that I am going to come out of this burnout.
Mm-hmm.
God, what did I even plan on making this year? Let's go look.
Because
Let's go
we
look. I
had,
had,
the thing is, I still really want us to do the mummy,
let me go
but
look.
that wasn't on our, like, immediate list because a majority of what I was going to do was truly going to be like alterations.
Hmm.
And so much of what I'm putting my current time and effort into, well, it was Sakizo. Now we're putting that on hold. Now I just want to go
Makes
back to the
sense.
2000s. I want Street Snaps to come back. I'm solidly in my I don't want to be in this timeline anymore. Let's do pure escapism. Old age is creeping upon me. So we're just going to live it up.
We're just gonna live it up. Here it is. Okay, the things I had planned to do this year.
Mm.
This I was gonna. Michael wanted to do a duo costume with me, which I'm still probably gonna do because it's just
Hmm.
buying stuff. We
Yeah.
were gonna do Sam and Max from Sam and Max.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a chaotic little bunny,
Of course.
obviously.
Of course.
Evelyn from The Mummy.
Hmm. And then I
Um,
would be Brandon Fraser.
as you do. I did have down Claire Redfield mostly because that'd be really easy. I could just buy
Hmm.
stuff for that as well.
Yeah.
Because I had three really big costumes to work on, which was Sakizu,
Hmm.
Isabel from Baldur's Gate 3, which I am going to do. I am still very passionate about that project. And I was going to make a Volo costume from Baldur's Gate 3 for Michael. Um, so I still have stuff to do and I still want to do the things, but anytime I go into my sewing room, I
Hmm.
just see my dress form wearing the Sakizu skirt with the little bolero like hanging on her shoulders and I
Yeah.
just get sad.
Yeah.
So maybe the answer to burnout is to give yourself grace,
Hmm.
set a date, like walk away and set a date for when you're going to come back
Hmm.
and just don't this is what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to fucking think about it until after New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on my streetwear because I'm going to New York. And so I was going to make
Yay.
myself a cute little jacket. Yeah, I'm taking my mom to New York.
That'll be so
We're going to go see
fun.
Hamilton.
Yay.
She's never been to New York, so I'm going to take her to a Broadway show for her birthday.
She's gonna have so much fun.
I'm a good daughter. We're going
You
to go to Mood.
are.
We're going to go to the
As you
fashion
should.
district,
As you should.
make it work.
Yeah.
Um, so I think I'm going to focus on some other hobbies and remind myself that my friendships aren't going to disappear if I take a few months off of cosplaying.
Hmm.
And I might even like go to Colorado Anime Fest next month and just next month I say it's at the end of fucking February. And just wear some stuff I've already made.
Yeah.
I
Because
can wear
there's
Anne Halford
nothing
again. I could
wrong. There's nothing wrong with re-wearing things.
I can wear
And
Freerin, I can
yeah.
wear Anne, I could just wear
Hmm.
Cord.
Yeah.
Like
Chords are making comeback, baby.
it doesn't have to be that serious. And I think my taking this, because I take everything so
Hmm.
seriously.
Hmm.
You know me. You
Yeah.
know me so
Hey,
well.
Julie.
I think taking everything so seriously has caused this in part. And I think
Hmm.
anyone who is trying to grow in social media, on YouTube or on Instagram or on TikTok, as someone who creates art, is going to experience the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Except they won't be able to take, 4 months off.
Yeah.
But I can because I'm not making money from this baby.
Hey. But like even with Bunniichii Corner, it's
Fucking love
really
Bunniichii Corner.
fun. I love Bunniichii Corner. And I don't like there was one point where I took a few weeks off because I realized like because initially firstly, I forgot that October had 5 weeks. There was 5 weeks of October in 2024. I was just ready for four because I was
Well,
doing a
yeah, you
short
lost your
story.
co-host.
I killed my co-host.
Oh, that sucked.
Ugh, what am I gonna what you know? But then that led to a lot of weeks where it was just me talking into a mic. And the
Yeah,
appeal of Benichi Corner is talking to my best friend.
yeah,
And then we
no,
get to
yeah,
talk to other people. And what
yeah.
got me back in the groove was interviewing Joss Rafavle, a film director who made
Very
a
cool.
fun, a really great movie that I was able to see a screening of. And it was great. And we talked, we chatted. It was exciting and great. That's what got me
I'm
passionate again.
genuinely so thrilled for you. Unironically thrilled for you.
Joss was great. But I don't think I would have I still would have enjoyed Benichi Corner, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't have been doing the initiative of going out and asking people to be on here
Hmm.
if Joss hadn't said yes. If I hadn't
Hmm.
gotten that go ahead. Like, if someone who isn't related to the cosplay community at all, has never talked to me, does not know who I am, is just like, yeah, sure. And I would have been like, cool. So, like, whenever Julie's back from the dead, that's when Bunniichii Corner comes back. Until then, you know what?
No, buddy.
Bye. It's been a great project while it lasted.
It's been
Deuces.
real.
Uh. But because Joss said yes, not only did I
Yeah,
have a wonderful 2 hour long discussion with someone who's doing what I dream to do,
what you want to do.
I will do.
Yeah. I know you will. I have no doubt about this.
But also, it gave me that incentive and that courage to go out and reach out to other cosplayers and idols,
Hmm.
Kaigai idols, to have them come in and sit down and share passions and stuff.
Hmm.
So I think burnout is required to make yourself come back stronger.
Y'all aren't ready for this.
Because what, Julie, I don't know about you, but from what your observations are, but anytime I've been burnt out, next thing that I work on, I
Oh,
think
you
it's always
make the
10
next thing you
times,
work is wonderful.
it's a masterpiece. So that's why I have
Yeah,
good feelings about this next song.
it's gonna be great. Are you
It's
kidding
gonna
me?
be great. It's gonna be better than brain melt. My brain will melt, and so will my teeth.
Oh, that's a hint.
What a hint that no one will care about.
That's okay. I care.
I care. But no,
I mean, I've also,
burnout is
yeah,
required though for us
yeah,
to get better. We
as
gotta get good.
artists.
Get good.
Yeah. Because the other thing is, like, I've been burnt out in my other hobbies before. This is
Mm,
just my first time being burnt out from cosplay.
yeah.
And I was going 5 years strong. And so it kind of feels like the end of the world.
Yeah. A lot.
Like, I've been burnt out from writing and drawing and crochet and everything before, right?
Mm, hmm.
This is my first time from cosplay, and I'm like, am I gonna
It's an
survive?
option. Burnout. Burnout's an option.
Eh? Since
Ah!
when?
Ah!
I think the other thing is like I haven't
Mm.
really been like watching anything.
Oh yeah, me neither.
'Cause I know when you and I are together,
Mm.
um, like you and I were so done with Magical Girls, and then we watched season 2 of Tokyo Mew Mew, and we were
簡単
feral.
じゃ
We were
ないよ。大好きっていうのは夢をあげ心大好き大つけと夢をミュウミュウ。
you and
は
I
は
went feral,
Feral.
feral watching that
We were
together.
like kids on Christmas morning.
So
I was
maybe
doing
I
the little
just need more
dance. I was like,
Maggie time.
夢をしない。
Maggie,
Julie,
my burnout might be caused by not enough Maggie time.
I concur. I think my burnout is due to not enough Julie time.
I think we need to hang out more.
I agree. I will say the Texas and Colorado shift does make things a bit difficult.
This is
However,
accurate.
however,
However,
we have Bunniichii Corner.
and that's what matters. No, I think I'll survive the burnout. I think anyone going through burnout can survive it. And I think what you were talking about, the way to tell burnout from being burnt out, done,
Hmm. Hmm.
right, is if you sit down and you ask yourself, like, you genuinely go through the mental process of saying, okay, I give away all my wigs, I give away all my costumes, I never cosplay again. How do I feel? And if you're
Horrible.
sad, if you don't feel positive or like freed or lifted, you're not done with the hobby. You're burnt out. You're
Hmm.
burning. But we can
Burn.
get you back.
That's right. Commiserate
And
in
that's
sadness
where I
together.
am with it.
And
But
it
no,
is
I think you're
okay.
right. Every artist needs to go through this.
We all need
But I
to
will return.
have our blue period. We all need our rose period.
I'm
That's just our
gonna go
different
into my
periods is
yellow phase
after.
after this.
Oh, perfect. We just need a little bit of
Mhm.
burnout between each period so that then we change and
Yeah.
grow and develop.
And like the phoenix, we rise again.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's our topic on Burnout. Maggie, what are we talking about next week?
Next week, we are we are doing a special March Madness event.
Woo! Maggie, what does March Madness look like for people who hate sports?
I don't
What are we
know.
going to be doing?
Oh, what we're going to be doing is we're going to have the hear me outs. And because we're not on the internet, we are doing the hear me out thing way too late to the game. So no one's going to care, but we are doing it bracket style. We are doing all the people, all the husbandos, all the waifus. Almost none of them are from anime. If you think that they are not a match, too bad. They're on our list. We're going to do it bracket style, like any good dodgeball tournament. One of Maggie's choices, one of Julie's choices. We're gonna duke it out and see which one is worse. And they're gonna go on to the next round. And
Perfect.
we are going to say a lot of things, which is gonna say a lot about us as individuals. And the
Bro, I had to curate my list because I looked at my first round. I was like, oh, I'm telling way too much.
I'm not. I'm sticking true to it, Julie, so you're gonna make me look way more feral.
Farrell's gonna have a different meaning next week.
Oh no. Anyways, if you or a loved one wants to play March Madness Hear Me Out edition, come watch Bunniichii Corner next week and see who of you didn't really think that they were attractive, but maybe we can persuade you they are. We'll win!
Yeah. I'm so scared. Well, this has been Bunniichii Corner. I am both Magpie and Jules.
We don't love you, but we love each other. And
And
that's it.
that's it.
Enjoy your burnout, everyone. We'll see you in the rose period.